Welcome to another episode of Mexican in the Kitchen. Today I'm going to make a recipe I really like. It's something that my dad used to make a lot at home. It's a salsa verde or a green sauce, so it's going to be a very quick recipe. And usually you would use tomatillo for this kind of sauce. In this case we're going to skip that because I don't have any. It's kind of hard to find them in Finland. When you find them, they're canned. If you happen to find some fresh ones, they're usually a bit on the more expensive side. So this is a green sauce I really like. It's going to be really creamy. It's a bit dangerous because people often confuse it with guacamole, so you have to tell people this is spicy, watch out. Because I've seen a lot of cases where people think it's guacamole, they take a huge spoonful, throw it into their taco. It's not the most pleasant thing if you are not eating that much spicy food or if you are not expecting it. But I hope you like this. This sauce, my dad copied it from some taco place. They used to make these tacos and sandwiches with some head meat, and it was really nice. So I hope you like it. I'm going to show how it's done. The first thing we need for a salsa verde, of course, is some chili. In this case, I'm using jalapeno. I really like the flavor, and it's not too crazy. So people who don't eat too spicy food can also eat from this. Of course, it depends on the amount of chilies you use and how spicy those chilies are. But if you want to use some cuaresmeño or some serrano, for example, it also works really nice. I am using 7 jalapenos and I'm just cutting them in half and taking the stem off. I cut them in half because my blender is not the best. If you have a proper blender, you don't need to even do that. Of course, if you don't like the food to be too spicy, you can use a bit less chilies, and you could even take the seeds off if you don't want it to be that crazy. Once the jalapenos are ready, I'm going to set them aside and continue with the rest of the ingredients. Next thing I'm going to use is garlic, and I don't usually add garlic to my guacamole, but in this case I think it gives a nice flavor, so I'll just use 3 garlic cloves. I'm just going to peel them and set them aside. Next thing we need is avocado. Avocado is going to give a lot of the texture to our salsa, it's going to give the creaminess, it's going to give a lot of flavor. And of course it's not always easy to find nice avocados in Finland. In this case I think I managed to find 3 that are quite okay. The amount we're going to use is not that exact because you can play with it, you can add less or more of every ingredient. In this case I have 3 medium-sized avocados which I'm going to use. But of course if you want more avocado you can use more. If you want less you can add less. It's completely up to you. What I'm doing is cutting them in half, removing the seed, and I'll set them aside, continue with the rest of the ingredients. Next thing we need is a handful of coriander. In this case I'm making a few cuts just to help my blender, but it's not that necessary. Then we need some onion. In this case I'm just using a small onion, cutting it in 4 and setting it aside. Now that we have most of our ingredients ready, I'm going to go to my blender, I'm going to use a spoon and start with the avocado. Once the avocados are in, I'm going to throw in the 3 garlic cloves and 1/2 of my small onion. Then we will add our 7 jalapenos. Then we will season with some salt. Some people also use some of the powdered chicken broth. Then we will add some milk. And how much milk you use is completely up to you. I would usually add just a bit, blend everything, and then if I feel like it's too thick, more like a guacamole, I will add more so it becomes a sauce. Then we'll add some coriander at the top and we can start blending everything. In this case, I felt like my sauce was a bit too thick, so I will add another splash of milk. And also this is a good point where you can taste it, and if you feel like it needs a bit more salt, you can add it. At this point, we can see that the sauce has a really nice texture. It's really creamy, but it still can blend and move around easily. That is exactly what we want, so now we can serve our sauce. Serving this sauce is really simple. I will just serve it on a bowl and then set it at the table so anyone who wants some sauce can take it. Just put a spoon in there and people can take as much or as little as they want. This is how I make the salsa verde or guacamole. This is a guacamole that's really spicy. Basically that's the whole thing. And it's something I really like because you can have it on sandwiches, you can have it on tacos, on quesadillas, gorditas. You can have it, if you're grilling meat, have it on the side. It's really nice on top of the meat. You can have it on top of rice, on top of beans, on top of both. Everything goes really nice. Just some tortilla chips, and people will love this. Something you can have on the table Everyone will love this thing. You won't have leftovers, that's for sure. And anyway, if you're planning to make a lot of it and you might have some leftovers, then I would recommend when everything gets blended, without turning the blender off, I'll just add a bit of canola or olive oil, just a tiny string. That will keep it moving. It will mix everything, and then it will delay the oxidation of the avocado, because that's what really makes the guacamole and this kind of sauce black really quick. The milk will help with that already, but you know, some extra help is also fine. You can also add a bit of lime juice on top before you put it to the fridge. That's fine. Some plastic, this kind of plastic film on top touching the guacamole or the salsa, that will prevent the oxidation as well. So I hope you try it. I hope you like the video. Press like, subscribe, activate the bell, share it with your friends, write some comments below, any questions you have, and see you in the next one.